Hi, it's Dr. Natalie of Dr. Go Figure, and this episode is all about creating better habits. So when we're talking about how to lose weight, fundamentally everybody knows how to lose weight, and probably loads of you have already done things like crash diets or hit the gym really hard. But the problem is that what we do when we want to lose weight is we tend to change absolutely everything about what we were doing before in our lives in order to be this sort of new, really healthy, really disciplined person. And it can only work for so long, generally speaking, because if you literally rip up the playbook of everything you ever did before and you pick up a brand new textbook about how you're going to live, it's very, very hard to sustain it because it's just an enormous effort to do all of it. So I'm going to cut out junk food. I'm going to give up alcohol. I'm going to go to bed on time. I'm going to do 2 hours of exercise every single day, right? And you can probably maybe do all of that for maybe a week, maybe not even a week, maybe a day. And you feel so utterly overwhelmed that you'll kind of think, oh my God, this is pointless. I'm just going to give up. I can't do it. And this is where loads of us are trying and failing because honestly, we're just trying to do way too much all at once. And so what Dr. Go Figure is about, it's about trying to help people lose the weight but keep it off. And the only way we're ever going to achieve this is by basically making small changes, small bite-sized changes that move you from where you are today to where you want to be in the future. So it's not about basically changing absolutely everything in your diet. If you have a sweet tooth and you drink wine and you like pizza and all of the things that actually most of us are probably quite like, then at some point you're going to have to say, well, I do actually drink wine and I do eat cake and I do eat pizza and I occasionally have McDonald's. And you're going to have to accept that these things are just part of you at the moment. They might not be part of you in a year's time or 2 years' time or 3 years' time, but you can't just make such radical shifts and expect to be able to keep it up. So what I would say is it's all about making small changes. It's about reducing the amount of alcohol that you have. It's about being more mindful about how much sugar and cake and biscuits that you're eating and can you start cutting it down. It's about thinking about getting an earlier bedtime, and you might maybe get your earlier bedtime 3 nights in a week, but you might not manage it 7 nights in a week. And it's about being kind to yourself as you appreciate that you are just on a journey to better yourself. That's really what this is about. It's a weight loss journey for sure, but it's also about creating better and more healthy habits for you going forward for the rest of your life. I'm sure you've all come across the term growth mindset. There was this really important book written about the growth mindset, and there's also loads of other books about how our personality is changeable. I think a lot of us get really stuck in a rut and we just think, well, this is just how we are. I just am somebody that likes to eat sugar. I am just somebody that likes to sit on the couch and not necessarily do loads of exercise. And it's almost like that's just who we are and therefore that's how we will remain. But the growth mindset is actually about thinking I can change things about myself and I can become this better person. And it all starts with deciding that you can. So if you want to lose weight and you've tried many, many times before, and maybe you've been the yo-yo dieter, or maybe you're somebody that just can't stick to a diet, the first thing that you've got to start telling yourself is, I can do this. I can do this and I will do this. Because if you don't believe you can do it, honestly, we can't do anything together. I can't help you become a better person and a healthier person if you fundamentally don't believe that you can be that person. So the first thing is you've got to start thinking, I am, my personality is my personality, but there's definitely things I can change and improve. You could think about how you were, maybe let's think pre-COVID. So much happened during the lockdowns and so many aspects of our lives changed, and some people decided they were going to move out to the country and some people decided they were never going to go back to the office full time. But if you look at yourself pre-COVID to how you are today, I bet there are just aspects of you that are totally different. Maybe you did go to the gym more or do more dog walking, or maybe you ate more cake and put weight on. But there are definitely things that you will see are quite different between you pre-lockdown and you today. And so when you look back on things like that, you do appreciate that we all have ability to change, and we all have ability to basically progress and develop. So you have to think, what was the thing that made me want to start this journey in the first place? And you know what, you just have to keep that as something in the forefront of your mind. Now, for anybody that knows me and comes to the clinic, you will know that I'm constantly off on a course and doing something. And I'm really into mindset, and I really believe that I can change to be my better self. And honestly, I do have a little postcard right next to the bathroom mirror, basically, that says, success is my duty, my responsibility, and something else. And I look at it every morning while I'm brushing my teeth. And I think, yeah, you know, it is my duty to be successful, and that's what's driving me. But you have to find out what's driving you. And I think something like putting a little postcard up is really powerful, because it is just a daily reminder of what it is that you're wanting to do. It will remind you of your why. Now, there is an absolutely brilliant, and you've probably all heard about it, but if you haven't, it's a TED Talk by Simon Sinek, S-I-N-E-K, and it's about finding your why, and it is absolutely brilliant. And I would definitely suggest that at some point this week you go and find that video and watch it. It will be on YouTube somewhere. Because that is very powerful stuff. And when you find your why, when you know what's really pushing you, it is the most powerful motivator that you will have. So back on my theme of self-development, I also love Tony Robbins. And again, some of you will be familiar with him and some of you won't. I absolutely love his messages, and I definitely know some of my patients think that he's this really loud, annoying American guy. So it takes all sorts, obviously. But one of the things that Tony Robbins talks about is that human beings generally won't make any decisions because if they are comfortable where they are, people put pain associated with change. We worry about what it's going to look like. We worry about failure. And so oftentimes we just stay where we are. Now, what you've got to do is you've got to start putting more pain with your condition where you are currently. So if you really don't like how you look in the mirror, or you feel unfit, or you feel unhealthy, then you've really got to start focusing on those reasons, and that will help you move out of pain and into basically pleasure. But for many of us, we put all kinds of little barriers up in front of us. Oh, I can't do that. It's going to be too difficult. I'm not organised enough about my food. How am I going to find the time to do this? So we start putting up loads of little reasons and barriers as to why we can't do something, in order for us to stay in our sort of slightly comfortable place where we are, and it will stop you from being this better self that you want to create. So sometimes you have to create a little bit more pain around where you are currently today in order to move you forward to where you want to get to. Another way for us to achieve our goals is actually how we start speaking to ourselves. You know, if you sit there all glumly, shoulders slumped, looking miserable, I'm on a diet, I've given up wine, I can't have chocolate, I can't do this. All you're doing is you're making yourself feel totally miserable about the journey ahead of you. And what you need to do is start selling yourself that rather than you can't have this and you can't have that and you can't do that, you've got to start saying, actually, I'm all excited today because I am going to be trying some new foods out. I'm excited because I haven't tried these particular vegetables before. I'm trying a new recipe and I think it's going to be great. And you've got to start selling to yourself your new healthier choices, not as something because you've restricted what you were eating before, but as a real positive thing, and it's really beneficial to you, and you've got to start looking forward to it. In actual fact, somebody that is a triathlete that I know, so I try and do triathlons, and honestly, it's not great. I'm definitely no motivational speaker when it comes to triathlons. But and one of the reasons was I didn't like getting up at sort of 5 a.m. to go for a swim. And then somebody that loves getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning said, but the thing is, you're selling it to yourself all wrong. You're seeing yourself as like, I'm going to be tired. Why do I have to get up at 5 a.m? He says, I literally bound out of bed at 5 a.m. I am full of joy because I'm excited because I get to go swimming, or I get to do a run, or I get to do a cycle ride. And you know, when you start thinking of it like that, like you have that ability, I can get out of bed, I've got a body that will move and take me those places. I am really lucky. What a completely different mindset to starting your day than grumbling and trudging out of bed and taking yourself resentfully down to the pool. So it's always to do with how you're prepared to sell something to yourself, and your mind will accept whatever you sell it. So I would always say, let's start selling it the positives. So we're all human and we all have bad days, okay? And the point is, it's just a bad day. It's a bad day in the grand scheme of many, many great days. So sometimes let it go and restart the next day with a bit more focus. You're going to have ups and downs. It's going to be a bit of a bumpy journey, but if you can be more focused on the positives, and if you can stay on the right side more often than you're on the wrong side, then you will see success and you will progress in your journey. But again, it's just all about, don't be so hard on yourself. You know, if you did have a biscuit at 9 o'clock at night when you were supposed to be fasting from 7, maybe just limit it to the one biscuit. Go, okay, that wasn't great, but that's it. You haven't ruined everything. The important thing is, don't have the one biscuit and now go, oh, I've ruined everything. And then you sit there and you eat the whole packet of biscuits, because that's more difficult, isn't it, to come back from. So just be really mindful of the fact that we will make mistakes. There will be moments if you haven't slept very well. We've talked about this. Your hormones are all over the place. Your body's looking for sugar. You'll be nibbling on stuff and feeling kind of rubbish about it while eating it. And sometimes you just have to let it go and think, okay, that wasn't great, but I've still got the afternoon. I could still eat really well for this afternoon, and I could still get my bike ride or dog walk or swim or whatever it is that you're going to do in. So just be kinder to yourself and know that there are going to be times when you're not as good as you'd like to be, but that's okay. This next part is all about thinking about what it is that you're trying to achieve. Is it a specific weight loss goal? Do you want to lose a stone? Is there a dress that you'd like to get into? Start having a think about what it is that you want, because that is very motivating too. If you've got a beach holiday and you know that you want to be back in your bikini, and you've got 3 months to get there, well then that is absolutely brilliant. That's what you need to do. I think just going on a journey without really knowing where you want to go to means that we meander and get lost, basically. And I know somebody's put that way more succinctly than I just did. But fundamentally, I do think you've got to know where you want to get to in order to stay the course. So have a think about what it is you want to do. If it's a specific weight loss goal, or you want to look great for a wedding coming up, or whatever it is, but really get that into your mind and have something to aim for, because that will keep you laser sharp focus so that you will achieve your goals. And you have to be accountable. There are so many people, and you can see that they've lost all faith in themselves. People that will say, yeah, I'll get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and I'll meet you there, or I'll do this or I'll do that. And they don't. They're flaky. We've all got flaky friends in our lives. And they are really irritating, because you've made plans and you think they're going to stick to it and then they don't. But it means that they don't hold themselves accountable. It means that when they make an arrangement with you, they're half thinking, I'm not going to do that. And I think that's somebody that's lost a lot of faith and trust in themselves. And what we have to do is find that faith again. So if you've said to somebody, or you said to yourself, I'm going to lose this weight, or I'm going to get fit and healthy, then you've got to be accountable. You have got to back yourself. If you are going to get up at 7 in the morning to do something, then get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and do it. And it's not just about health and fitness. It's about every aspect of your life. If you've said, on Wednesday afternoon, I will write that report, well, then you need to sit down on Wednesday night afternoon and write that report. Don't leave it till Sunday night when, you're feeling the stress and the pressure and you're tired and you've got Monday coming up, because then that doesn't make you feel great about yourself either. So if you do something, make sure you do it, make sure you follow through. And like I said at the beginning, you don't give yourself so much to do that it becomes unattainable or overwhelming, because that's the surefire way for you to fail as well. So find things to do. And if you are somebody that's been pretty flaky in the past, I would start with basically just being better at showing up when you've said you're going to show up, or doing what you've said you're going to do. Because the more times that you back yourself, the more confidence you get. The more confidence you get, the better results you're going to get. As always, you know I love to give you a little bit of homework, and really this week's homework would be about looking at the book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. I think she's a Stanford professor. It's really illuminating and it's really encouraging as well. So I would definitely read that book. And then the other thing is check out the Simon Sinek TED Talk. It's not that long, and he's a great presenter. So I think that you'd find that very entertaining and enlightening too. So until next week, have a very happy and healthy week. Remember, if you like what you see, then please like, share and follow, and you can keep up to date with absolutely everything that we do.